What's up, everybody? It's John with John Sports Arts and Collectibles coming at you with a brand new video. How's everyone doing out there today in the YouTube universe? Today, I'm going to share with you my experience at an LCS that I went to on the other side of the state. I live here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this LCS was on the other side. So I had to drive from Pittsburgh, PA to the other side of the state to go to this LCS. Why did I go to this LCS? Cross state? Because JSA, the authenticating company, was there in-house, and I needed to get 6 items of mine authenticated. And so I figured I'm going to make this journey, and hey, when I'm there, maybe I can film this LCS. Maybe I'll pick up some product, showcase it here on the channel. So as I'm making the journey, I'm just going over things in my head, what products I might be looking for, and did a little bit of research on this LCS. Now, I'm not going to name who they are. I'm not going to say where they are because I don't want to be that kind of guy. I don't want to be that kind of channel that throws these guys under the bus, because the store itself was fine. We'll get into that in a second. So let me tell you what happened here. So I arrive around noon, about an hour after they had started the authenticating with JSA in-house there at this LCS. There was like one person in front of me in line, so that wasn't an issue. I had my paperwork all ready, gave my items to the 2 guys at JSA, and you can go watch that video if you'd like. I'll put a link down below in the description so you can see what items that I had authenticated, and my experience working with them too is in that information's in that video as well. But gave my items to them, and they said it was going to be a few hours. 3 o'clock, I said 2:30, and they said no, more like 3:30. I said okay, no problem. So as I was leaving, I was just kind of glancing around this LCS, and I don't know how many owners there are of this LCS, but there were a few older gentlemen my age, close to my age, working there. And I just asked them, hey, do you mind if I film in here a little bit later in the afternoon? I can feature your store and talk about you guys on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. And they said, yeah, that'd be great. So I then left. Basically just hung out, ran a couple errands, hung out some more, came back in around 2:30 with the hopes that they would be done at 3. So as I walk in, the LCS had gotten a little bit busier. And I was getting ready to go over to the owners and ask them if I could start, filming a little bit, getting some shots in. And I immediately decided against it. So the first thing that happens is that there is a whatnot breaker there. Yeah, the old lovely whatnot breaker. And I'm not going to say which breaker this was. But, middle-aged man breaking. Now, I'm an older guy too. But this was a little bit ridiculous. So this guy's doing his whatnot breaks, and he's breaking open case after case after case of new product. And just to hear him talking, it was kind of comical because, here's this I assume this guy was probably in his early 40s, but the way he was talking was 14-year-old, bro this and bro that, and and he was semi-knowledgeable of the players, but there was one point where he came across a serial number card of a pitcher that is a known pitcher, and he didn't know who that person was. And I kept thinking to myself, whoa. Okay. I kept thinking to myself, this person should be more knowledgeable if they're going to be doing these live breaks. And he had people, obviously a good number of people involved in these breaks, but it just was comical. He was calling Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher, Paulie Skeens, which I don't think any of us here, at least I've never heard anybody in Pittsburgh call Paul Skeens Paulie Skeens. He was talking about the bounty that the Pirates have offered for the Paul Skeens auto card. I can't remember which product it's in. And it destroyed the atmosphere for me for wanting to film, because this was going on, and it would have just been a lot of chaos in the background. So I opted not to do it for that. But then I also opted not to do it for other reasons. Like I started looking around the store, and we'll get into this card here in a second. This isn't card. We'll talk about this card that's on the screen right now in a second. But I'm looking around in the cases, and I'm looking around at the prices, and things were so overpriced. I mean, they had packs, and I probably should have some images of the packs or something on here. They had packs of 1991 Fleer for like $2. And I'm like, come on, they were in like the rows of packs on the counter, and then they had like blaster box packs for like $8 a piece, and I was like, these are not hobby packs. Why are these so expensive? And they were like Topps Fire, and I can't remember off the top of my head what other packs there were, but it was nothing that made me go, wow, this is worth $8 a pack. And so that was another thing that started to turn me off. And then I looked over in the stand-up display cases, and I saw this card there. Not this exact card, but that's a 68. We're actually looking for. So let's pretend I pulled the wrong image up here. Let's pretend this is a 60 for mantle. Maybe I can type it in here. Let's try it out. 1964 Topps Mickey Mantle was an SGC 1. Let's see. Okay, so here's some. Let me see if I can see if PSA 4. Let's try SGC 1. SGC 1. Okay. Here's one. It's a Venezuelan back. Well, I might have to pull this one up. Well, here's a 1.5. This will work. Let's go into this and have this on the screen for us now. Okay, so sorry about that little mix up there. Let's get rid of this. Let's get this one out of here. Okay. Now they had this a 1 listed for. They had a price tag of $400 on it. Now this 1.5 is $382, but I still think that's kind of high. My point is, it was a 1964 Topps Mickey Mantle SGC 1 for $400, and I think that card is worth maybe. They probably had $100 higher than it should have been, maybe more. So that was another turnoff. Then I saw some other graded cards there that were way overpriced, and I just thought to myself, I can't film here. I can't showcase this stuff. These prices are outrageous. The prices on the hobby products were definitely higher than I'd normally seen. And then they had some retail blaster boxes there, which I wasn't aware that LCSs are even allowed to sell retail blaster boxes. I was under the impression that the only way you could do that is if you had permission from Topps, say for example, to do that. So every time I see these retail blaster boxes in these LCSs, I start to question where they got them from. Did they run and buy them from the Target themselves? Did somebody bring them in? But they're technically not supposed to be selling those unless they were allotted them by Topps. And sometimes Topps does do that, but I think you have to get permission from them. So they had the prices on those were like basically higher, a few $2 or $3 higher than at Target. Now, look, I understand they're running a business. They need to make money. I have an online business here. I need to make money too. Sometimes I tend to maybe have things $1 or $2 higher than they should be on single cards, but there's a reason for that. But some of these prices were way high, like they were way higher than they should have been. So that just shot the deal for me there. Now the layout of the place was really clean, and you walk in to the left. There's like some showcase cases there. To your right, there were like these taller stand-up cases, and I should have images, but I don't want to talk about this LCS and show them here in this video because I'm not trying to throw them under the bus in that manner. Like I said, the staff, the ownership, they were extremely friendly and nice, so there's nothing wrong there. And then there was after you walk in and get past those cases on your left and right, then there was like a countertop, or I guess they do some sort of breaks there, and then there was like an island with, I believe, singles, and then the blaster boxes there, and then there were like more showcase cases behind that, and then if you're looking at the room and you're looking over to your right, that's where the breaker was set up with his live stream. And then JSA was kind of like to your one. If you're looking at a clock, face it to the 1 o'clock on the one on the clock. That's where they were set up. If you're looking directly into the store. The last thing that happened, and let's go back to this image here of this card. So this is a 2024 Topps Chrome Jackson Merrill Black and White Mini Diamond Auto. I was waiting for JSA to finish, and there was a young kid in there, probably close to my son's age, maybe my son's age. My son's age. I have twin boys. They're 13 years old. I think this kid was probably 13, 12 or 13 years old. And he was with, I think, looked like his grandmother. And they knew him. So he was obviously a frequent goer of the card shop, which is great. To see young kids in card shops. Even though the hobby has changed. And there's this bro mentality that goes on with the hobby. Which, to me, is a major turnoff. But this young man, this youngster... wanted to buy a pack of the Chrome Update, the jumbo packs, and they're charging $55 a pack. Now, I don't know if that's the going rate, if that's high, if that's standard, but $55. So the owner is actually opening up the case because it just had come in, and I'm sitting there at this area where I guess they do these breaks, and the kid's sitting next to me, and he purchases a pack. The guy, one of the owners, gets it right out of the box. The jumbo box, and he starts to open up the pack. And I'm not looking at him, but I'm kind of looking over my shoulder to see what he's going to get out of this pack, because $55 is kind of high for a pack of cards. I know it's a jumbo pack. I know there's autos inside there, and there's a lot of valuable cards. I get that. And he pulls this Jackson Merrill Update. Now, it's a different image than this card you're seeing here on the screen. But a mini diamond, black and white. I think it was out of 50, I think. And now, had that been me, I would have probably freaked out, because the little kid in me comes out. And everyone's different. And all kids are different with their reactions. But we're talking a car that's probably worth at least a couple $1,000s, if not higher. I mean, this one's going for basically $3,000 they're asking for on the old eBays here. And this kid was just he got a smile, but he wasn't really that excited. I was just stunned, and it just got me thinking how, I mean, I don't know, things are different nowadays in this kind of hobby. And when I was a kid that age and I pulled out a rookie card of somebody big, like say Ricky Henderson, I was ecstatic. Actually, maybe not even ecstatic with Ricky Henderson. I liked Ricky Henderson, so I do remember getting that card and being pretty happy. But there would be other cards that would have, I'd pull, and I'd be really super excited about them. And this kid was, he definitely was not showing a lot of excitement. Just a smile, kind of proud, but it just was I couldn't believe this kid pulled this card. And again, it just shows the difference of things with this hobby now to when I was that age, and it's changed immensely. And everyone's looking for the hits, and the base cards are worthless, and it's just it's all changed. And I just told that kid, better put that in a one touch, and do not let anyone take that from you. And he said, I know. And then he showed it off to a few people, and because they were curious. But I think the owner was more excited than the kid was. And I was couldn't believe it. But I guess my point, this whole video is that my experience in the store, to me, it felt like it wasn't for me. I'm not talking about a card shop. Wasn't for me. Just the environment wasn't for me. It had that kind of stale Cards HQ feel to it, which I guess appeals to like the youth and the bros that are in the hobby today. But for someone my age, I was like, this isn't fun for me. And so in a way, I'm glad I didn't film in there and make a video about it, because I would have been, not being honest with myself with the video that I was presenting to people. So, I'm the kind of person, and I'm sure there's a lot of collectors out there. I'm old school, and I like there to be a warm atmosphere in a card shop that I go into, or maybe a comic book store too. You can throw that in the mix too as well. And I want to look around, and I like to see things that essentially will overwhelm my senses. And that a lot of times has to be memorabilia and collectibles. And this was kind of lacking that in a sense, and what there was hidden away in a display case. There is a great LCS here in my area that I go to all the time, and the owner is very nice. It's a place called Baseball Card Castle, and that kind of card shop, that kind of LCS is the kind of atmosphere that I like to go into. It's a little, it can be a little cluttered. Now that isn't so cluttered, but there's just a lot of things to look at, and your senses get overwhelmed. And I've been in that store for sometimes only 10 minutes when I need some supplies, and other times over an hour just looking around if I have time in my hands. If I've come in there for something specific, but then have time and I look around, and I've seen some incredible things that they have there for sale. I didn't obviously feel that way at this place, and I was just looking to leave as soon as I possibly could. But again, I just want to share my experience here. This is, again, what would be more of a podcast video with not too many images, and just more of me talking, giving my experience. And again, I just wanted to share this with everybody. And I normally would have filmed in a place like that, because it would have been a good video for the channel. But after everything I went through, I decided it wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it for me. So that's really it, guys. I want to share my experience, a little story, and hopefully you enjoyed this today. And that is all I have for you guys. And that's it. So remember to like, subscribe, comment down below, share this video with your friends, family, and loved ones. Our eBay store link is down below in the description. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Until next time, folks, this is John with John Sports Cards and Collectibles signing off, and I will see everybody very, very soon. Take care.